Emi had a dark heart, and her love for blood was almost equal to Yujiro's. Clearly, they were made for each other. So after Yujiro ended her husband's life, Emi agreed to be the mother of his child. And so,
Nigga, this how you pop off the story? What the fuck? Nigga, why? Baki dad is wildin', bro. What is he? What is this? He said, bro, I need an op. Let me create one.
he manages to take Hanayama down and tells him that if he wants a rematch, he will be waiting for him. Hanayama is furious at this humiliation and accepts Baki's challenge. The rematch takes place, and Hanayama begins to dominate the fight, breaking Baki's arm. The fight was very tough. Both had great chances to win. However, it's Baki who takes the victory. The two boys show mutual respect for each other, and a friendship begins. But suddenly, Baki's father appears. The ogre appears and hits Hanayama to show Baki that his training will not be enough to defeat him. Baki tries to help his friend, but Yujiro also hits him and knocks them both unconscious. Yujiro gets angry that Baki is still very weak, so to motivate him, he kills Yasha and tells him that he is still weak.
Them weak ass punches. You know, shit. This like Debbie cakes, man.
And that because of him, Yujiro doesn't love her anymore. Baki leaves
No, Yujiro's insane. He never loved you in the first place, bitch.
in every possible way, but doesn't even tickle him. Despite this, Yujiro is not disappointed. He tells Emi that this time she has done a good job educating Baki. As was obvious, Yujiro defeats Baki, but that was not enough for him, so he starts beating him even though Baki was unconscious.
Oh, he might
Emi
not.
finally comes to her senses and realizes what was going on. She tries to help Baki, but
Oh, she tried to redeem her good mother points. Nigga, no, nigga. Try to turn me into a weapon because this nigga trolling, nigga. Fuck that.
Yujiro shows no mercy to anyone and ends her life. Before dying, Emi asks Baki for forgiveness. This far from making Baki fall into depression only makes him want to be stronger to take revenge on his father.
Damn, Yujiro. I mean, Yujiro don't give a fuck. He came for one thing. Shawty did not deliver that one thing. Yujiro don't give enough about none of this other that they got going on. I don't care, gang. I wanted somebody who could beat me up. That's it. Like, all this other shit, I do too much. Lovey-dovey feelings and shit.
I don't really think nobody fucking with me anyway, you know what I'm saying? 24 fucking hundred. I come from that fucking block. I been out that Johnny up and up that cutter.
Welcome back. We back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Twin Sama, the story of Baki Hama, complete timeline. Half? 1.5? Half the timeline? Is what? Besides the paradoxical as the half the time. And we about to get right into it. Shout out my boy. I never really watched Baki, but he a Baki fan, so I'm trying to get educated into the Baki street. I'll probably have to read the manga though, because from my understanding, Netflix got a disjointed version of Baki on the goddamn screen. Nigga.
A long time ago, the strongest creature on Earth grew bored of defeating whole armies and fighting wild creatures. There was no one on the face of the earth who could stand up to him. So he decided to have a son who could give him the fight that no one else could. Yujiro wasted no time and went in search of the woman who could give him the son he wanted. That's how he met Emi Akasagwa, a woman who on the outside looked fragile and fearful, but in reality was as evil as he was. Emi had a dark heart, and her love for blood was almost equal to Yujiro's. Clearly they were made for each other. So after Yujiro ended her husband's life, Emi agreed to be the mother of his child. And so
Nigga, this how you pop off the story? What the fuck? Nigga, why? Baki dad is wildin', bro. What is he? What is this? He said, bro, I need an op. Let me create one. And they took her husband out of the game. Like, nigga, you just met.
Baki Hanma, the son of the strongest man on Earth, was born. From an early age, Baki had to learn to fend for himself. His father put him through a tough training. Poor Baki did not have the opportunity to play like other kids. All he could think about was training and becoming strong. Baki was taken to train in the mountains, where he would have to live the wild life. There he met Ando, an old friend of his father. Ando took care of him and became his mentor. These trainings were repeated for a long time, however, seeing that Baki didn't progress. Yujiro stopped training him and left Emi in charge of his training. Yujiro ordered Emi to make Baki strong enough to fight him, otherwise he would stop seeing her as a woman. Emi used her fortune to give Baki the best training possible.
Oh, his dad's a genius. Oh, she's rich. Oh, this nigga's a genius. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, this nigga might be evil, but he's an evil genius. Yeah. Yeah, she got money. So she gonna have the best facilities possible to train this little nigga to become our enemy. I mean, adversary. Man, whatever.
She paid the best instructors and the best gyms. She wanted Baki to have a condition equal to that of a professional athlete. It's worth mentioning that Emmy kept all of her ex-husband's money and could spend as much money as she wanted. This whole process happened when Baki was just a kid.
Or it's not even her brand. Like, yo, this is crazy. Then you married a nigga that killed him. All right. You should not have access to any of his money. But hey, it's anime.
Remember that at the beginning of the series, he was only 13 years old. But even at such a young age, Baki manages to defeat a crowd of men. And although later another group of men beat him with weapons, this only fuels his desire to become stronger. His mission in life was to become stronger to defeat his father. However, the training his mother gave him was not enough, and he decides to quit. On his way to become stronger, he meets a world boxing champion. Baki challenges him to a fight to prove his strength. But although he manages to hit him a couple of times, the champion defeats him easily. But far from discouraging him, this only makes him want to become stronger, so he decides to go to the mountains to train. There he meets Ando, his former mentor and best friend.
Nigga, did you just tell the story out of order? That'd be the problem. I'm confused. I'm confused, dude. Like now I gotta go read it. What? You told me about Ando 2 minutes ago.
Ando feeds and cares for him, and also tells him about a creature called Yasha that lives in the mountains and that even he has not been able to defeat. Baki doesn't think twice and quickly decides to pay a visit to this creature. Baki realizes that Yasha was far superior to him. Fortunately, Ando arrives to rescue him, but Yasha leaves him badly wounded and has to be hospitalized. Without Ando's company, Baki is left alone. But this doesn't stop his training, and he continues to apply everything his mentor had taught him. During this time, Baki learns to release and control the endorphins in his brain, thus increasing his reflexes and speed. Finally, Baki meets the creature again, and the two engage in a fierce battle. The fight is very hard for Baki, but he finally manages to defeat Yasha. The creature gives him one of its fangs as a token of respect. Baki has improved.
Brother, I don't see. That was a win? That was a win? This guy's ass beat, bro. Like that was no. Where's the win at?
During this time, Baki learns to release and control the endorphins in his brain, thus increasing his reflexes and speed. Finally, Baki meets the creature again, and the two engage in a fierce battle.
Well, that looked like a death grip to me.
The fight is very hard for Baki, but he finally manages to defeat Yasha. The creature gives him one of its fangs as a token of respect. Baki has improved his physical skills and now feels that he has become stronger, so he decides to return home. Baki's plan was to face the boxer who had defeated him last time. What he didn't expect was that a guy named Hanayama was going to injure his opponent, leaving him with no chance to fight.
Oh, I seen that the Hanayama dude. I watched the it's like a Baki movie. I forgot where that. I think the Baki movie was on YouTube. I seen that dude. So he actually is a relevant character. Nigga, I thought that shit was filler. But
the truth is that it was his mother who sought out Hanayama to be Baki's rival. Actually, Hanayama is one of the mafia bosses and one of the strongest men in Japan. That's why Emi was interested in him. An important fact is that at this point in the series, Hanayama was only 15 years old, but already looked like a man in his 40s.
60s.
Baki is excited to hear about this man and decides to go and look for him at his hideout. Baki enters as if it were his home and doesn't think twice before going on the attack. He manages to take Hanayama down and tells him that if he wants a rematch, he will be waiting for him. Hanayama is furious at this humiliation and accepts Baki's challenge. The rematch takes place and Hanayama begins to dominate the fight, breaking Baki's arm. The fight was very tough. Both had great chances to win. However, it's Baki who takes the victory. The two boys show mutual respect for each other and a friendship begins. But suddenly, Baki's father appears. The ogre appears and hits Hanayama to show Baki that his training will not be enough to defeat him. Baki tries to help his friend, but Yujiro also hits him and knocks them both unconscious. Yujiro gets angry that Baki is still very weak, so to motivate him, he kills Yasha. This makes Baki angry and
damn, bro. I could get training with Yasha, you Baki.
Now he is going to officially face his father in a month. Baki goes to talk to General Stridum, who is another old friend of his father. But before this, a weird moment happens as Baki eats Yasha's teeth. Surely this has a
You nasty, nigga. Bro, I'm not watching this series. Why did you eat a dead Bigfoot? That's what it is. Bro, he just ate Bigfoot's teeth. What is going on?
Symbolic value in the series. Stridham tells Baki about a remote location where a group of mercenaries is hiding, and he must confront them to test his strength. Baki arrives at the place and without much trouble defeats most of the soldiers of the squad.
Smack they stupid.
However, there is one in particular that gives him more trouble. This guy's name is Gaia, a guy with a split personality who gives Baki a hard time. On one side is Nomura, the nice guy, and on the other is Gaia, the most dangerous super soldier on the planet. However, after a long fight, Baki manages to defeat him and ends up winning his friendship.
Wait, which one, Gaia
Baki
or the
returns home to talk to his mother, but she hits him in the face and tells him that he is still weak.
Them weak ass punches. You know shit. Hey, this like Debbie cakes, man.
And that because of him, Yujiro doesn't love her anymore. Baki leaves.
No, Yujiro's insane. He never loved you in the first place, bitch. Like he only even sought you out to make an adversary. He's weird.
The hotel very sad. However, outside, he meets Hanayama, who takes him to his house where they talk like good friends. Finally, the day of his fight against his father arrives and many people come to watch it. Baki attacks Yujiro in every possible way, but doesn't even tickle him. Despite this, Yujiro is not disappointed. He tells Emi that this time she has done a good job educating Baki. As was obvious, Yujiro defeats Baki, but that was not enough for him, so he starts beating him even though Baki was unconscious.
Oh, he might
Emi
not.
finally comes to her senses and realizes what was going on. She tries to help Baki, but
Oh, she tried to redeem her good mother points. Nigga, no, nigga. Try to turn me into a weapon because this nigga trolling, nigga. Fuck that.
Yujiro shows no mercy to anyone and ends her life. Before dying, Emi asks Baki for forgiveness. This far from making Baki fall into depression, only makes him want to be stronger to take revenge on his father.
Like, damn, Yujiro. I mean, Yujiro don't give a fuck. He came for one thing. Shawty did not deliver that one thing. Yujiro don't give up about none of this other that they got going on. I don't care, gang. I wanted somebody who could beat me up. That's it. Like, all this other shit. I do too much. Lovey-dovey feelings and shit. I want this nigga dead, man.
During this period of time, he trains in various places, where he learns new techniques and gains experience. Baki returns home after learning about an underground fighting tournament, so he tries to enter the tournament to test his strength. The owner of the underground arena is Mitsunari Tokagawa, who at first is not convinced to accept Baki in his tournament, but after seeing the boy's strength, he ends up accepting him. Baki now lives with his girlfriend, Kosue Matsumoto, who supports him in everything and is deeply in love with him. Before the tournament begins, Baki meets Doppo Orochi, the world's strongest karate master, with whom he strikes up a good friendship. The underground arena tournament begins and Baki's first opponent is Kosho, a fighter characterized by his peculiar fighting style that
So is the movie, because yeah, I seen the nerfs. Is the movie filler or not? I get confused.
consists of cutting the nerves of his opponents. It's a difficult fight, but in the end Baki wins and as usual, ends up befriending his opponent.
Yeah.
During the course of the tournament, Baki will meet different characters. One of them is Mothovi, with whom Baki fights but fails to defeat him. Baki's next opponent is a wrestler named Toba. This huge guy starts off dominating the fight, but after a while, Baki starts hitting him in the knees and knocks him down, managing to defeat him. In the middle of the tournament, the fight between Doppo and Yujiro takes place.
I remember this.
The fight was very close, but when Yujiro realizes that his son is watching him, he gets serious and activates the ultimate power of the Hanma family, the Demon Back. This is a power that increases Yujiro's strength. Yujiro defeats Doppo by punching him in the chest and causing his heart to stop beating. But luckily for Doppo, a doctor and fighter named Kuroha Shinagi saves his life. The thing is, this doctor was not as good a person as we thought. In fact, he was so evil that he even left a young girl in a wheelchair after using her for one of his experiments. The most interesting thing is that this man was going to be Baki's next opponent. The fight begins and Baki attacks Kuroha with a lot of rage until he knocks him to the ground. It looked like it was going to be an easy victory, but Kuroha returns to the fight and, making use of his knowledge of anatomy, manages to wound Baki in his vital points. Despite this, Baki overpowers the doctor and defeats him with a powerful blow to the stomach. That last blow leaves Shinobi so bad that he needs a blood transfusion to save his life. To his
And then the
surprise,
girl does it,
the
yeah.
girl he had left in a wheelchair offers to donate her blood to him. Thus, Korha softens up a bit and promises to be a better person.
治るいう気持ちを持たせてやれやんだらどんな天才でも医者は失格や
Man, that movie didn't make no damn sense.
Finally,
I swear to
Baki
God.
wins the
I
tournament,
swear to
and with
God.
that, he earns the admiration of the other fighters. But nothing will be enough for him until he defeats his father.
That demon back look tough as hell.
Time
This
passes
nigga
and the-
back has a fucking 8-pack.
Finally, Baki wins the tournament, and with that, he earns the admiration of the other fighters. But nothing will be enough for him until he defeats his father.
Brother, that is his bag. Oh my. I can't beat this nigga. What is this? Back has an 8, bro. That's a 6-pack. Nigga, I don't care. His back has a fucking cow like it's Batman.
Time passes and Mitsunari announces a new tournament in which the winner will win a belt used in the ancient Roman Olympics. In this new tournament, we will meet new characters that will be very important in the series. After losing his right eye in his fight against Yujiro, Doppo has continued training and now wears an eye patch and will also participate in the tournament. This new tournament will be divided into blocks, and the winners of each block will...
Yeah, I think this is where. I think this is. No, because. Doesn't he fight him in this? I can't remember, bro. It's been so long since I seen that movie. It was like 4 years ago. And it was a quick. I was watching that shit while falling asleep. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what's going on for real.
will face each other until only to remain. The two finalists will be the ones who will fight for the belt and the right to be called champion. Baki's first opponent is a bigger fighter than him, but he still manages to defeat him easily and qualifies for the next round. In this tournament, Baki meets Retsu, a character that will be relevant later on. Retsu easily wins his first match after breaking his opponent's neck. The fighting continues.
That got to be the zestiest way I ever seen somebody die in my life. Nigga, he just did a 360 spin on it. Now, it was his neck, but nigga. It's the zestiest murder ever.
And suddenly, a wild creature infiltrates the tournament.
What are we talking
To
about?
Baki's surprise, this creature was none other than Yasha's son, who was seeking revenge for what happened to his father. Yasha
Oh, Yasha Jr. Is this the movie I seen? I can't remember.
Jr. gets out of control and Doppo's son, Katsumi Orochi, stands in his way and is determined to kill him. However, Baki appears and saves Yasha Jr.'s life. The next round begins, and it's the turn of Katsumi, who uses a technique that allows him to run 100 meters in a couple of seconds. And with this, he defeats
Brother. It's a fighting tournament. Boy, a bitch.
his opponent to qualify for the next round. Before Baki's next fight, there are a couple of other fights, some interesting and some not. The one I liked the most was Shiba versus Kohei, a judo master. The fight is very good and Shiba wins using his head, literally. But the most interesting is when we meet Jack Hammer, who is actually Yujiro's son and Baki's brother. The point is that Jack kept his identity secret, and that is why he used the name Jack Hammer. Another important detail to note is that Jack used steroids to increase his strength, and since it was not illegal to use them, he managed to enter the tournament. After Jack won his match, Yujiro...
I'm confused. Is he like that or not? And also, I think Jack and Yujiro fight each other. If I'm not mistaken.
entered the arena to challenge him to a match because he seemed to be a very interesting guy. Baki gets jealous and tries to stop Jack from fighting his father, but to his bad luck,
Slap that
Yujiro
nigga.
sends him flying with a punch and tells him to stay out of it. Jack approaches Yujiro and tells him in his ear the whole truth. This makes Yujiro very happy, and now he just wants to see Jack fight against Baki, so it will be decided who of the two is more worthy to be his opponent. Again,
something
it is
wrong with you,
Baki's
bro.
turn,
Duh.
and now his opponent is Zulu, a Brazilian fighter who gives Baki a tough fight. But as expected, Yujiro's son wins and qualifies to the
Oh,
next
he just
round.
cheated, twin.
Then we have the fight between Retsu and Toba. Despite the large size difference, Retsu wins the match. We also see one of the best fights in the series, which is Katsumi versus Hanayama. Although Hanayama dominated the fight, Katsumi managed to defeat him to qualify for the next round.
Brother, does Hanayama ever get a win? This is crazy. This is crazy. Got your ass beat by Baki, and then you got your ass beat by this random man nigga. You're getting beat by all the juniors, gang. At this point, pack it up, have a kid, so he can beat their ass. Cause you don't got it.
Well, actually we all know that Hanayama intentionally let Katsumi win.
I don't give a fuck.
The fights continue with Shiba versus McGregor and Doppo versus Amanai, who is
Connor? This probably came out way before Conor McGregor ever was on the scene doing anything.
Yujiro's disciple. Doppo and Shiba win their fights, but Shiba was so badly injured that he couldn't continue the tournament. Shibakawa faced Kosho, and thanks to his combat experience, Shibakawa emerged victorious. Baki has to fight Iguri Kanji, a man who was already in his last years as a professional wrestler, and so he asks Baki to let him win.
Brother, no.
Baki doesn't accept, so Iguri has to use many tricks to try and defeat Baki. But despite Iguri's dirty tactics, Baki wins. Later, the fight between Retsu and Katsumi took place, a fight that didn't last long as Retsu easily defeated Katsumi, who had not yet recovered from his fight with Hanayama. In the next
Damn, bro. Where the medic at? Thank you. Thank you. How the hell we running back phase, nigga? Can I heal first?
fight, Jack defeats the powerful Alexander Gallon. In this fight, Jack shows his fighting style, which is based on biting. This is not prohibited, so
Brother, that's not a fighting style. This nigga thinks he's a fucking wolf or some shit. He a lame ass on, bro. He trying to give niggas rabies. That's not a fighting style. You're just hungry.
Jack takes advantage and wins the fight. Later, Shibakawa defeats Doppo in a good fight. Either of them could have won, but in the end, Goki takes the victory. The semifinals are Jack versus Goki and Baki versus Retsu. As expected, both brothers win their respective fights and will now face each other in the grand final. Before the fight, Baki eats and rests to regain his strength. His friends warn him that Jack is a dirty fighter and uses steroids, but this doesn't bother Baki, and he says he will win no matter what. The grand final has arrived and both brothers show each other respect before the fight.
Yo, this series might have the ugliest noses in anime. Jesus, bro. And I've seen some bad anime. This is crazy work.
Jack dominates most of the fight, however. Baki was waiting for the right moment and using everything he had learned throughout the tournament, manages to hit Jack and leave him in bad shape. It seemed that everything was already decided. However, far from weakening Jack, this puts him in a state of adrenaline and begins to hit Baki without giving him a chance to breathe. The problem is that the effect lasted only a few seconds, and as a consequence, Jack vomits all the chemicals he had ingested before the fight. This makes him lose his muscles and apparently weakens him. But even though his body was in bad condition, Jack didn't give up and continued attacking Baki. What Jack didn't expect was that Baki was going to activate the demon back.
Brother, why do you have to activate the demon back? This nigga is turning into a dilapidated building in front of you. Hey, nigga, I would have hit him with the step back. Bro, he gonna run out of stamina and just... What we doing here? Demon back?
With this power, Baki becomes stronger and subdues Jack with a chokehold that leaves him unconscious. And that's how Baki defeated his brother Jack and becomes the champion of the underground arena. All the fighters congratulate him, and it's his brother Jack who gives him the championship belt. This is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful moments of the series. After this, Baki goes back to school as his girlfriend had convinced him.
School, exactly.
Before I continue with the next part of the video, let me tell you that this timeline is only about Baki, so don't be surprised if I leave out some details or fights from the series.
I mean, that's completely fine with me, nigga. I care about the main character. Respectfully.
This will be the first timeline of the Baki series, so tell me in the comment box who you would like the next timeline to be about. A couple of weeks pass and Baki has returned to school. However, he still hasn't retired from underground fighting. One day while at school, Baki falls asleep, but for some strange reason, his classmates start to tremble. I guess this is because of his intimidating presence. That same day, Mitsunari comes to his school to pay him a visit. What the old man wanted was to talk to Baki, so they meet and he tells Baki the reason for his visit. He warns Baki of 5 dangerous criminals who have escaped from prison. These men were criminals sentenced to death, but for some strange reason, all 5 escaped from prison at the same time. It's as if they had already planned it a long time ago. According to Mitsunari, these criminals came to Japan looking for a fight. The first of them is Dorian, a criminal who was about to be executed. However, he manages to survive and escapes easily after beating the entire security team that was guarding him. The next of them is Hector Doyle, a guy who had been sentenced to the electric chair, however.
Wait. You know what I just realized? This nigga Baki did that whole tournament, beat his brother up, and this nigga died red from the fade. What? He go? We're supposed to throw them bitches. What?
This does not even tickle him, and like Dorian, he also manages to escape easily. We also meet Sikorsky, A man who escapes from a maximum security prison in Russia,
Oh,
and he
Russia.
did it using only the strength of his fingers because the prison was several meters underground. When he got out of prison,
Nah,
the first thing he
that's
did
crazy.
was to go to Alexander Galen's house to beat him up. He did it
Damn,
because
Galen?
Alexander was very respected and famous in Russia. And let's also remember that Alexander was not yet fully recovered after his fight with Jack.
Yeah. We gonna keep spamming that shit, but y'all niggas be getting served in this bitch. They be getting served. Oh yeah, but he ain't recovered yet. Getting served. I don't care.
So, he was an easy prey for Sikorsky. In another underwater prison was Spek, a dangerous criminal who also escaped easily. He tells us that he is able to swim underwater for 5 minutes.
Oh, his lung capacity.
Finally, we
crazy.
have Yanagi, a criminal known for having a poisonous hand with which he can kill dozens of men. He escaped after killing the entire security team guarding him. So the 5 convicts head for the city of Tokyo.
Ew, nigga, he just blew that nigga brains a kiss. Ain't no fucking way, bruh.
The greatest desire of these men is to find an adversary who will give them a taste of defeat. And that's how this new arc begins. The 5 criminals arrive in Tokyo looking for a fight. The first to appear is Spek. The criminal arrives at Baki's school, and in front of his classmates.
I'm so confused, bro. Why these niggas not appearing in front of Yujiro? Like, he the one with the most smoke. Appear in front of him. He the one that want to fight niggas. I can try to be regular right now. Ish. Still overly swole, like, beat your ass, but I'm going to school and let me chill, bro. Let me have my little slice of life episodes.
He beats him up and leaves him unconscious. Baki compared Spek's presence to that of the ogre. No doubt this guy was someone to fear. We also meet Dorian, a guy who fights using all kinds of weapons. He arrives looking for Doppo, but first he will have to face Retsu and Katsumi. Dorian easily defeats Katsumi, and then has a brief fight.
Brother, did he just, is there, I ain't just see that. Nigga, was that a wooden peg? He might be dead.
Guy who fights using all
I
kinds
hope
of
that was a boot, but nigga, how's the boot drawing that much blood?
weapons. He arrives looking for Doppo, but first he will have to face Retsu and Katsumi.
Kick this. Oh, yep. He just got hit by a 2x4 and he's cooked, buddy.
Dorian easily defeats Katsumi, and then has a brief fight with Retsu, although he finally decides to leave the place since his target was Doppo. Later, the
This
5
nigga just
inmates
breathe
go to
fire?
the underground arena to visit Mitsunari. The old man asks them why they had come to Tokyo. They all agree that they just want to fight someone strong. Mitsunari tells them that he can make that wish come true. At that moment,
So, another
Baki and the
tournament.
others arrive to confront the inmates. Mitsunari organizes a tournament of 10 participants and the
Another
rules are
tournament.
simple. Anyone can challenge them to a match regardless of the day or time.
So far, this anime is 75% tournament arcs. God damn it. Damn it. What came out first, Baki or Yu Yu Hakusho? Because they clearly influence each other. One of the two. Could them niggas started spamming tournaments and vice versa?
The fights can start at any time. The first fight is Dorian versus Doppo. They left the arena together, and after a quiet conversation, the fight started in the middle of the street. Dorian had come to Japan looking for Doppo, so his dream fight came true. But in the middle of the fight, Retsu appeared to take revenge for what happened in the dojo. However, Doppo tells him that he has everything under control. This fight didn't last long. The most shocking thing was when Dorian cut Doppo's hand with a special wire.
Why do you have no
According to
hand?
Dorian, this type of material was used by astronauts in their space missions, so it could also be used as a weapon. That's why he easily cut Doppo's hand. But his
I'm convinced none of you niggas step on anything if your name is not Baki. What the is going on? What is going on?
despite receiving such severe damage, Doppo attacked Dorian with his injured arm.
Thank you.
Although he actually did it to buy time and escape from the place. The truth is that if he had stayed fighting, he would have lost due to the loss of blood.
Nigga, pick up
In
your
another
hand.
part of the city, Igari Kanji kidnapped Sikorsky and took him to his gym to get revenge for what he had done to him. I didn't mention it, but at the beginning of this arc, Sikorsky brutally attacked Igari Kanji.
Bro, this man just ate bullets point blank range. Ain't no fucking way. I get it. I get it, but nigga. What was that, a 22? What's going on? Point blank range and you still just jump up like, yeah, man.
And that's why he has to wear a bandage on his head. Anyway, Sikorsky beats the crap out of him and his henchmen. The Russian is determined to fight the strongest man.
Wait, why didn't he just headshot that nigga? You put 6 shots center mass and you right point blank on him.
Man in the world. Baki was taking a walk with his girlfriend, but suddenly Spec appears in front of them. Luckily, Hanayama shows up to save his friend and takes Spec to a nearby park. And well, this is where one of the best fights of the series takes place. Spec and Hanayama had a very brutal fight that is considered one of the best in the series. At the end of the night, Hanayama managed to defeat Spec. However, the criminal left him so badly injured that he had to be transported to a hospital. With this fight, Hanayama
Or he literally made him bite the bullets. Oh nah, this is gas. The series is gas. Like, nigga, what is going? He made him bite the bullet. He just bit like a whole mag. He just bit a whole mag.
earned the respect of many fans. It was not only because he endured the fight, but also because he risked his life to help his best friend.
W-mans, bro. Come on now.
The next day, Baki was at school when he suddenly received a visit from Hector Doyle.
I gotta
The
murder
criminal
him.
wanted to fight Baki right there, however. Baki fled out the window and avoided fighting at that moment, not because he was afraid, but because he didn't want to involve his classmates in the conflict. But it did surprise Yanagi, another of the inmates was also looking for him.
The fuck?
The criminal challenged Baki to a fight. In the middle of Baki and Yanagi's fight, Shibokagwa appeared to help the boy, although he didn't really do much as Baki ended up being defeated by Yanagi. At this point in the series, Goki had not yet overcome the trauma of his defeat against Yanagi. Later, Baki and the others gathered at Mitsunari's house. The old man scolded them for losing to the criminals. But what they didn't expect was that Dorian was going to burst into the meeting. It was actually a very bad idea on Dorian's part, as everyone present beat him up, so he had no choice but to escape to save his life.
Brother, he just threw a fucking grenade. Just threw a fucking grenade. I thought we was throwing hands. Granted, a nigga just made a nigga bite bullets, and also Labuddy had a lighter with wire in it, but I thought we was throwing hands. He just threw a grenade.
When they all returned home, Baki was surprised to discover that Sikorsky had broken into his girlfriend's house.
These niggas
The
weird,
two have a
bro.
brief fight, but the Russian manages to trick Baki and kidnaps his girlfriend.
You're a dumbass.
This really pisses Baki off, so he starts looking for him everywhere. What he didn't expect is that his own father had planned this. Yujiro was the one who gave Sikorsky this idea. He told him that the best way to motivate Baki was to take away something he loved.
We're going to have a tournament anyway. What is the point of this? Yujiro, can you please do one thing and get the out the way? Like, for one series, you can't just be Dio. Like, nigga, I'm a ghost for real. It's just the thought of me that fucks y'all up. What's wrong with him?
Yujiro and Sikorsky were about to have a fight in that place. However, at that very moment, Oliva Biscuit appears. The strongest man in the United States had arrived in Tokyo. Oliva had been hired by the government to catch the 5 prisoners. That's why he appeared at that moment. His intention was to catch Sikorsky and return him to prison. Baki also arrives on the scene and without hesitation starts throwing punches.
Nigga, go get your
He
girl.
throws
Punches.
Sikorsky out of the building and also tries to hit Oliva Biscuit,
That was
but
not
realizes
smart.
that this guy is too tough and heavy. Baki doesn't stop and keeps looking for Sikorsky until he finally finds him in an abandoned building. In that place, Sikorsky was taking a bath but is interrupted by Baki. The boy doesn't even allow Sikorsky to put on his underpants,
Great.
and they
He
start
says
fighting
so.
right there. Baki was very angry, so this time he doesn't play around and beats up Sikorsky.
Rocking his
The Russian didn't even get a chance to defend himself. Oliva
horrible 3D CG, by the way. And this is what I'm saying. Netflix, y'all be picking up series just to throw a gang of CG in that bitch. Like, niggas cannot be complaining about AI assets in anime, and and 3D CG is still ass.
Biscuit also arrives on the
Jesus.
scene and takes Sikorsky back to jail. Baki was so amazed by Oliva Biscuit's power that now one of his goals was to fight this man. After this, another couple of fights occur. Hector Doyle is the inmate who has the most participation, but since this is Baki's timeline, I'm just going to say that this inmate is the one who had the most development.
Okay, cool. So he probably ends up becoming a good guy. He probably gets flashback episodes.
He fought guys like Oliva Biscuit, Dopo, Retsu, and Katsumi. I think he's the inmate who had the most fights in this arc.
Okay,
He
cool.
and Sikorsky are my 2 favorite inmates. Baki and Kozue continued to strengthen their relationship during the following chapters. The first time they slept together, something strange happened.
And they got
That night,
viral.
Yujiro Hanma showed up to give Baki a motivational talk.
Damn, that's
He
weird.
basically told him that if he wanted to get stronger, he was going to have to sleep with his girl day and night, no matter what. Baki, like an obedient son, hated his father and spent several days locked up with his girlfriend. To test his new strength, Baki received a visit from Yanagi, who came looking for a fight. What Yanagi didn't expect was that Baki had become too strong.
Damn, Baki.
He was no longer a boy, he was now a man. Baki attacked Yanagi with a whip strike, but things got more interesting when Sikorsky showed up to take revenge for what Baki had done to him a few days ago. However, Baki was now much stronger than
Man, what the is Olivier doing? Thank you. Thank you. Like, bro, I thought you were supposed to arrest this man.
before and easily defeated these guys at the same time.
Oh my
Yanagi and
God,
Sikorsky
he's
feel
dogging
so
a cat.
humiliated that they even start crying. Baki doesn't want to keep fighting and leaves with his girlfriend to do other more important things. In his fight against the inmates, Baki had been poisoned by Yanagi. However, he didn't think much of it and didn't even go to the hospital.
Is that true?
Obviously, it was a bad idea as the poison was slowly consuming his body. While this was going on, Dorian had been defeated by Doppo, and then Retsu gave him a blow so hard that it even made him lose his memory. Doyle was also defeated by Katsumi, but unlike the other inmates, he accepted defeat like a real man.
Thank you. Damn. Y'all doing all this weak ass shit. Y'all already got beat the fuck up. Go home.
Unfortunately, Yanagi did not like this and attacked him just as he was about to leave Japan. Doyle lost his sight and was now easy prey. Later, Oliva Biscuit found him and took him by force to jail. Sikorsky,
Damn. I feel sorry for my young nigga. I mean, I don't know all the bullshit he gets into, but nigga, you actually accepted your defeat and lost both of your damn eyes.
who had already been defeated several times, was defeated again. But this time he lost to
This is
Jack
breaking this
Hanma.
nigga bite.
Later, he also faced the master of environmental combat, Gaia, and as expected, Sikorsky lost again. But this time he begged for his life.
Bro, you done got beat up by every single person that this nigga Baki is friends with. What are you doing?
And accepted his defeat. Yanagi is defeated by Mothove, who cuts his hand and leaves him badly wounded. But the one who really knocks him out is Yujiro Hanma. The ogre wanted to hear him say that he accepted defeat. However, this did not happen, and then Yujiro knocked the criminal out with a single blow.
Yeah, damn, he keep slapping
All 5
the shit
inmates
out
have
of
been
you.
defeated and returned to
Yeah,
prison, with the
strong.
exception of Dorian. Baki, on the other hand, was still suffering from the effects of the poison, and it seemed that his Hanma blood would not be able to save him this time.
Man, shout out to the doctor nigga, bro. Is he not going hoo?
A couple of chapters later, we meet a new character that will have relevance later on.
Muhammad
I'm
Ali
talking
Jr.?
about the son of the legendary boxer, Muhammad Ali. Ali Jr., like his father, is an elite boxer, some say even superior to his father. He quickly became one of the most hated characters in the series.
Yeah, because he tried to smack. Come on, man. Like, hey, yo, like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? I don't know they be from my Canada, man. Said, damn, she at the hospital. She said she might want some boyfriend. Like, you pulled up just to pick up newly widow bitches. Like, what the?
Because when Baki was in the hospital, this guy was flirting with his girlfriend. Let's not forget that time he humiliated Yujiro without even touching him. Many hated him for being so self-centered. It was clear that this guy was coming for Baki. Baki kept getting worse, and the poison did not seem to disappear from his body. Retsu, as the good friend he is, takes Baki to China to try to cure him with ancestral medicines. The inmate arc ends, and now a new arc begins. Now Baki and his friends will participate in an important martial arts tournament, held every 100 years. The winner of this tournament will be recognized
Brother, you still poisoned? Nigga, I'm not pulling up for this.
as Kaio Emperor, a title that is only awarded to the strongest fighters. Kaku Kaio, a man over 140 years old, will participate in this tournament. This guy is considered the strongest and most respected man in China. He is also nicknamed the Emperor of the Sea. Ali Jr. also decides to participate in this tournament, so after passing some tests he is accepted and will be part of Baki's team.
Bro, what?
What no one expected was that the ogre, Yujiro Hanma, would also participate in the tournament. Thus, the team of foreigners will try to defeat the Chinese fighters. As Retsu was of Chinese origin, you'll have to fight against Baki's team.
That's tough.
In the first round of the tournament, there are no good fights. Although in reality, it was quite obvious that the
So what's the point? He said, what's the point? Shit, there were no good fights. Like, damn, couldn't get one good match.
Japanese fighters were going to humiliate the rest of the participants. However, there were some interesting and funny moments. For example, when Oliva crushed that poor guy and made him look like a crab. Also in the first round, Yujiro humiliated Retsu's master. We could say that this guy's face fell off in shame. Also in this round, Baki fought against another fighter who was an expert in the use of poison. Although at first we thought that Baki was going to be defeated, in the end he managed to eliminate the poison in his body thanks to the support of his girlfriend and his Hanma blood. Yujiro watched Baki's fights like a father watching his son play in the park. Later the two had an altercation in the hallways of the arena. Baki provoked Yujiro by telling him that he was probably afraid of him. This angered Yujiro, and in the blink of an eye he showed Baki who is the stronger. In the second round,
So Baki's never gonna get to beat his dad. That's what it feels like. Maybe when that nigga old. His dad hit like 80 years old. Rocky's
Japanese team crushed the Chinese team. In fact, none of the local fighters stood a chance against Baki and his friends. Emperor Kaku was so upset with this situation that he changed the rules, and it was now going to be a 5-on-5 tournament, with the winning team being the one with the most victories. As expected, Baki and the others won their respective fights. The only one who won for the opposing team was Retsu. But Yujiro, as usual, wanted to be the center of attention and exclaimed that his fight against Kaku was the most important, and that this fight would decide the winning team regardless of the previous fights. The fight was very...
Brother, how the do you just decide that? First and foremost, we're not even hosting a tournament. The Chinese niggas is. At least let's follow their bullshit rules, even though they changed the rules mid-tournament, man. We gonna win anyway.
Entertaining. After a long time, someone gave Yujiro a tough fight, even making him fall on his back for the first time in a long time. But in the end, Yujiro emerged victorious, and thus Baki's team affirmed their total victory over the Chinese team. After this, Baki and the others returned to Japan. After returning to Japan, Ali Jr. continues with his plan to steal Baki's girlfriend.
He's weird.
He knows that he will have to defeat Baki first, so before challenging him to a match, he decides to fight his friends first. Junior easily defeats Shibakawa-sensei and Doppo Orochi. Everything seems to be going according to his plan. However, everything gets complicated when he faces Baki's older brother. Jack beats up Ali Jr. and leaves him so bad that he even has to go to the hospital. After this, Goki and Doppo take advantage of the situation and ask the young boxer for a rematch. As expected, Ali Jr. loses to both of them.
Like, nigga, I'm cooked. Nah. You see what this series is, nigga. Hey, don't be picking random ass fights and not expect a nigga to pull back up. I don't care about your injury, nigga. Run that shit.
But despite the beatings he had received, Ali Jr. continued with his plan to steal Baki's girlfriend.
He's dumb.
Finally, Ali and Yujiro confirmed the fight between their sons. I didn't mention that these two were very good friends and wanted to know which of the two boys was the stronger.
Baki.
The day of the fight arrived, and everyone was looking forward to it. Unfortunately for Ali Jr., it was one of the most disappointing fights of the series. Baki only needed one punch to knock him out, and if it hadn't been for his father, Junior would surely have died that day. After that shocking victory, Baki officially challenges his father Yujiro to a fight.
Finally.
The ogre accepts the challenge and says he will wait for the details of the fight. Baki begins new training to defeat his father. Baki's training consisted of facing imaginary enemies. Yes, I know how strange that sounds, but that's the way it is.
It's image training, basically, but anyway, go ahead.
Baki faced a copy of his father and a copy of Iron Michael, the former world boxing champion. In addition, using the power of imagination, he also managed to create a giant praying mantis and started fighting it. Streatham told Yujiro about Baki's peculiar training. The ogre burst out laughing. To him, this was nothing more than child's play. Baki knows that this training will not be enough, so he decides to go for a real challenge. His goal was to enter the Arizona State Prison, but to do so he had to commit a crime and be convicted by the courts. Baki doesn't think.
So why don't you just pull? You can't just add. You can't just add and see the prison. What the fuck? I want a prison tour, and they just punch the shit out of me. I will throw me in a.
Think twice and kidnaps the President of the United States. He asks the President to send him to Arizona State Prison so he can confront Oliver Biscuit, also known as Mr. Unchained. The President accepts and Baki gets what he wanted. He is sent to the same prison where Oliva Biscuit was. When Baki arrived at the prison, he was surprised to see that Oliva had many luxuries and wasn't even in a cell like the other prisoners.
He's also like
Mr. Unchained
6'5".
had everything he wanted at his disposal. In this prison, he was number one. In that place, things would not be so easy for Baki, because there were many people who also wanted to fight with Oliva Biscuit. One of them was Jun Guevara. Guevara was known as Mir's second because of his speed. This guy was next on the list to face Oliva Biscuit, so Baki will have to wait until these two have their fight.
Ooh.
Baki takes advantage of his stay in prison to train with the jobs assigned to him by the guards. Here he also meets Iron Michael, who is actually a representation of Mike Tyson. Oliva Biscuit is a very interesting man. He even has the luxury of having his wife in the same prison as him. His girl's name is
No comment.
Maria, and although she always seems to treat him badly, it's her way of showing her love. The day of the fight arrives, and although Jun Guevara made Oliva bleed, in the end, Mr. Unchained took the victory. It was a very curious and different fight than usual, but Oliva Biscuit took the opportunity to show his true strength and stomp Guevara.
Jesus.
This made Baki excited. He couldn't wait any longer
Like, bro, he made this nigga toes curl. It's the craziest knockout you ever
to face him. During the following days, Baki provoked Oliva Biscuit in every possible way. He wanted Mr. Unchained to fight him, and he knew that the only way to achieve this was to hurt his pride. Baki put on a show in which he imitated Biscuit. He showed that he could also do whatever he wanted in that prison. He dared to tell him that he looked like an old man, and continued to provoke him until he made him angry. However, Biscuit was not going to play along with Baki, so he decided not to fight in that place. Biscuit tried to forget that humiliation and went to spend a nice time with Maria, but his pride did not let him rest, and he decided to schedule this fight against Baki.
Why is it so
The
hot
warden
in here?
agreed the plan was to broadcast this fight worldwide. Biscuit wanted to humiliate Baki in front of everyone. The thing is that when Oliva went to visit Baki in his cell, the boy started to provoke him again.
Why is it steam in there?
He told him that this need to fight in front of an audience was pathetic. A true fighter is willing to fight anytime, anywhere, regardless of whether there is an audience or not. Baki kicked him in the face and challenged him to fight right there. Mr. Unchained finally accepted the boy's challenge and took off his suit to start the fight. From the beginning of the fight, Biscuit treated Baki like a toy. Clearly the boy was at a disadvantage in terms of physical strength. Oliver threw such a punch that it sent him through several concrete walls,
Jeez,
and even sent him out into the prison yard. Several guards were present, but they knew they could do nothing but watch. Baki tried to hit Biscuit, but his
Give him
blows
that.
did nothing to his huge mass of muscles. Biscuit slammed Baki to the ground and almost knocked him unconscious. It was at that moment when Baki finally activated his demon back, and with one punch he managed to knock Oliva Biscuit out. Mr. Unchained was very surprised by the sudden increase in strength that Baki had. However, that was not going to be enough to defeat him. Oliva
Man, what the fuck? This nigga just turned to a ball of muscle. What the fuck?
Biscuit uses the Pac-Man technique and eats Baki. However, his biggest mistake is to
Waka waka?
use this technique twice on Baki, as the boy finds a way to break it. After an exchange of words, both fighters begin to exchange blows with their fists. It was a brute force fight, no techniques, just strength. In the end, Baki achieves the impossible and defeats Oliva Biscuit using only his physical strength. Mr. Unchained recognizes Baki's strength and accepts his defeat. After this incredible fight, Biscuit orders the warden to release Baki Hanma from prison. The boy is released from prison and escorted to the airport. Now Baki feels ready to finally confront his father. Elsewhere, Yujiro waited impatiently for Baki's arrival. This is going to be the best fight of all time.
No!
Here ends the first part of this timeline. In the next video, we are going to review the story of Baki Hanma in the manga. I was thinking of putting it all in one video.
Go back, cause yeah, nigga gonna have to lock in. Damn. Hey, Baki, you gotta beat your dad up. No cap. I'm sorry. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. This nigga been bullying you since you were a baby. It ain't me be your ass. Like, bruh, you barely getting punches off of it. You gotta pack him up. And let me know if I should continue this as far as reviewing the Baki Hanma timeline. Half the timeline, so I need the other half. This story is actually good. I mean, it's more so just about throwing hands, but hey, sometimes I like wonton. Hey, We fighting. Why not? That's the end of the video. Make sure I like, comment, subscribe, share the video, share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you can stay there when I drop videos on this channel. I'll catch you on the next one.
Baby, slide by to my mausoleum. She got sushi.